Hello everybody, my name is Benji and welcome back to Dyson Sphere program where we're facing a power shortage again. Well, actually I lied, it's not quite a power shortage yet. If you look here, we are in fact perfectly fine on our power. The issue is in the fact that we're not making enough deuterium to actually produce more deuterium fuel rods, and that's because of the fact that we don't have hydrogen coming in. Why don't we have hydrogen coming in? Well, because we're not using any of our petroleum. Like, we're literally just not using petroleum at the moment. The refined oil, the petroleum, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. We're just straight up, we're not using it right now. So, I have an idea. Something that will certainly fix this issue. I know for a fact that will fix this issue. Where am I? I'm trying to get my bearings. Ah, I know where I'm at. The deuterium fractionation is this way. This way, this way. Here it is. So we're going to make another one of these circuits. The only difference is the fact that we're going to make this an interstellar logistics station instead of a planetary logistics station. We're going to have literally the exact same setup that we have here, except for the fact that we're going to make it a interstellar logic hub instead. And then we're going to talk about gas giant exploitation and gas giant harvesting. So where do we have the space for this? Well, we kinda don't, but that's fine. I can just use the copy-paste mode and just copy the whole thing. Actually, why do I bother copying it? Didn't I make a blueprint? Didn't I make a blueprint? I did not make a blueprint. Silly me. Silly past Benji. Silly past Benji. Silly, 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 silly. Silly past Benji. We're at blueprint number 24. I just did a blueprint off camera. Deuterium MK1. Put the deuterium symbol and save it. And now we can take that deuterium NK1, this one, and we can find a spot to put it. We could put it here. We would just need some foundations. Where else is a big enough land mass that can actually hold something this large? Well, right here. Right here is one. And here, actually. Let's do it here. I'm gonna have to get rid of a couple of things. And place some foundations down. But yeah, that's not a bad place. And that's right where we were when we had our... No, it's not. Never mind. I was about to say this is exactly where we had our old motor setup, but it's not. I'm wrong. And that's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. You don't always have to be correct. Just remember that in life. Nothing always has to go perfectly, nor will it. You may want it to, but it's unrealistic. Alright, so we need to go down to, like, the lip. Here. That should do it. He said with hope in his eyes. Oh yeah, that'll definitely do it. Then I just want to line it up like that. And then actually get rid of the one logic station. That sounds like fireworks. Happy past 4th of July. I'm currently recording this on 4th of July. Do I not have any splitters in my inventory right now? Benji, what were you thinking? Alright, well, we're gonna fix that. It's been a while since I've been back on this planet. I've been doing a lot of work in the meantime on the other planet, the lava world. So, it's been a long time since I've been back here. And on the lava world, I did complete this ribbon. I also blueprinted the ribbon. Planetary ring. So we have a planetary ring design that has these harvesting nodes, the like Dyson swarm harvesting nodes, solar panels, and wind turbines, all wrapped up into one, which is quite handy, actually. You'd be surprised how fast we burn through all of those materials I just mentioned while we're building new stuff, by the way. Just give me a whole bunch of stacks. And then I also need some of you, evidently. Give. Do I need anything else while I'm here? Belts. I need belts. I need belts very badly. And my belts weren't producing while I was gone because I didn't have any motors on planet anymore. I stopped my iron from being turned into motors because I knew damn well that I would start to have issues. I knew damn well that I would start running out of iron if I actually used those. So I just straight up didn't use them. Anyway, interstellar hub right here. And in this interstellar hub, first of all, we're going to request the proliferation. Local demand, drop it down to like 500. Not remote supply, remote storage. Min load of drones, 12. Orbital collector, check. Transport range of vessels. Distance to enable warp, 12 AU. We're not really going to need it, but for these guys, I'm just going to drop it down to 1 light year. And we're not going to change the max charge power. We won't need to. I'm only going to put like, yeah, I'll only put like 25 drones in it. And then we're going to need hydrogen. And we're going to want local storage, very specifically. And then remote demand. And then for deuterium, local supply, and we'll just do remote storage for that one. Just drop everything down to 5K. We're not going to need anything else. And then the hydrogen is going to come out these two sides, just like they did. And then we're just going to update it like that. And then the hydrogen is going to go back in. And then I want to see if it's possible at all for me to get the deuterium. Collide with object. I want to see if it's possible for me to get the deuterium to be proliferated automatically. It is possible for me to get the deuterium proliferated automatically. So we're absolutely going to do that. Like, I would be stupid not to have proliferation. And then is it possible for me to move these 1 click farther? No, it's not. Not possible for me to move them 1 click farther. They have to be there. Which is a cool design, I must say. Come on, let me fly. Oh, I'm out of charge. Well, that's a problem. Can I get a charging pole, please? Charging pole, please? Please, charging pole? Charging pole, thank you. And we'll just do it there. And then we'll bring the proliferation juice out. And then it's gonna actually need to go into another splitter. here. Because some of it has to go into that thing. And then the rest of it... Oh my gosh. Collide with object. Does not collide with object. But is stupid. So... bring it out like this. And then down and around. And I'm tired of waiting, so charge me. I love the fact that I can just start a little system like this and just, boom, I'm charged. It's one of my favorite things. Granted, this will help with that a lot. Like, this will help with that so much. Oh, I can't wait. That, and then this as well. This will help. This will help. But that's also locked behind green science. Sad. Don't worry, we'll be getting into the sciences soon. Like, the new sciences soon. Also, why am I doing Mark III belts? I want to be doing Mark II belts for these guys. Not Mark IIIs. Alright, apparently it went shorter than I thought it did. Bring it up. Why? Why are you saying problems? What problems are there to be had? What's your issue? Why is it up one? What in the world was that about? You guys saw that. What was that about? There. You gonna be happy now? You better be happy now. And then how about you guys? Are you happy? Is it done yet? It's not done yet. Finish up. Come on. I want to get to the part where I can talk about the gas giant. So essentially, how the gas giant thing works now that this is all finished, and literally the only edit that I made to this entire system is the fact that I made this an interstellar hub instead of a planetary hub, and why are we already missing a drone? I wish I could find it, because where is it? Oh, it's probably off fetching some proliferation juice. Okay, that's fine. So the way that the gas giant harvesting works is essentially it places down a interstellar hub that's also an extractor on the gas giant surface. And that essentially will harvest whatever materials are on the gas giant, which in this case, it's actually not a gas giant, it's an ice giant. And the ice giant, you can see here, has fire ice, 0.6572 per second, and hydrogen, 0.697 per second. So very, very slow production of materials. Hey, look at that, a perfect 20. But it won't feel slow. Like, take my word for it that it will not feel slow. It'll feel pretty substantial. But the reason why this recipe requires the accumulators, specifically the full accumulators, is because if we find an area, there's somewhere that has a description. Used to collect the resources of the gas giant, it needs to consume the collected fuel materials to maintain the energy required to work in orbit. So those full accumulators are the lore-specific way that the game says, hey, it has fuel to start, but then the resources that you mine from the ice giant fuel it farther. And yeah, it looks like we're gonna just move into nothingness, but we're on the gas giant right now. As we speak, we are on the ice giant. Gas giant, ice giant, whatever. Then, you pull this up. It has to be placed at the equator. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has to be placed at the equator. And then I like to find a point that is like 0 degrees east or west to start. 0 or 90, some multiple of 90 degrees, which it looks like is going to be here. And then place down an orbit collector. And we do get an achievement for that. Orbital collector and fire ice. And then if we click on this, you can see that it has local storage because you can't do any storage. And then remote supply, remote supply. You could make it remote storage so that nothing takes from it, or you can just leave it remote supply, which is what we're gonna do. And then it's just gonna go on ahead and make us stuff over time. And then over time, that stuff will be able to be collected by our lovely depots that we have on our homeworld. Or anywhere, really. So we are going to import fire ice because fire ice is really, really good for graphene. I'll show that recipe again here. Fire ice to graphene and hydrogen. So we're going to get more hydrogen out of that. And that's also going to end up prompting me to do an oil redesign, because oil has this new thing, the reforming refine, where essentially you take the plasma refining and you get 2 refined oil and 1 hydrogen, combine all of that together with 1 piece of coal, and you just get refined oil, instead of having the hydrogen byproduct that you then have to deal with, which is going to simplify our entire planetary system, especially when we're about to start harvesting hydrogen from graphene as a byproduct. So we definitely do not want to be wasting our hydrogen, like, consumption throughput, I guess you could call it. Like, we do not want to waste that. If we waste our hydrogen consumption throughput on oil fracking, when we have a method that will completely get rid of the oil for us, we're going to be lost in the dark. And we're going to have too much hydrogen to deal with. We won't be able to turn it all into deuterium, and even if we did, we wouldn't be able to use all of the deuterium. Trust me, I've had that issue before. You really only need hundreds of thousands of deuterium when you start building a Dyson sphere, because you need it for the rocket parts. But we'll get there. We'll get there later. Right now, I'm just going to keep placing these while I talk monotonously. I am really excited about this recipe, because the X-ray cracking is interesting. It's good for making red science from scratch, but I don't know. I've never really been a huge fan of that alternate. I just never really have. I don't know why, I just never really have. But this, the reforming refine, very, very nice. Very appealing recipe right here. Very appealing recipe, in my opinion. I'm waiting on my drones, because if they get left behind, they're just going to continue to eat away at my power, and as you can see, we're already doing that quite enough. I probably should have just brought some deuterium fuel rods, actually. Usually I do that. I just forgot. But we're moving along nice and quick here as is. And we're placing down all of these orbital collectors. And then the orbital collectors will just work. We've covered roughly half the planet at this point in time. Actually, it looks like we have covered exactly half the planet at this point in time. So half the planet's 20 extractors. That's good to know. Wait for my drones to come back. I'm pretty sure I have them all. No, there's one more. Then I'm gonna have them all. There we go. Alright, let's move back to Assault Australis 4. On my very limited power, just barely achieving escape velocity, actually. Trying to steer myself in a direction that's gonna put me close to a charger. Yeah, we're close enough. So now that that's all done and dealt with, over here, orbital collector, yes. Logistic vessel will collect cargo from orbital collectors. Transport range of vessel, I bumped down to 1 light year. It's a lot closer than that, so this should be done. I keep saying should, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's not working. Remote storage, remote demand. Sometimes it's a little buggy. I don't know entirely why it's not working. I wonder if there's just not enough hydrogen stored yet? Because how much can they carry? 400. Oh, there it goes, there it goes. There it goes. So, if we open up our V menu, there's the one that just left. And you can see it goes straight to that. Ice giant? Gas giant? Ice giant? Whatever. And it looks like it's going to that first one. Yeah, the first one that we placed down. Which means that soon we should see another one launch. So that's the animation of it docking. And then now it's coming back to planet. And then as it comes back with the hydrogen, we will see our deuterium process begin to flow. And there goes the other one, going to get the other 400. It gets proliferation juice. Proliferation juice makes the deuterium flow. That seems to have been all 400 deposited right there. We just got 50. I saw that. So let's see. In one batch of 400, how much did we get? Because that was 50. It's still flowing. That's another 50, so that's 100. Little bit less than 150 for a set of 400. On one single pass through, we got half conversion. That's not bad. That's really not bad. That's really not bad. But let's go on ahead. Let's move on with our lives and move into our new graphene setup. And we're going to go on ahead and go all out with our graphene setup. We're going to drain all of these guys, first of all. If we can, at least. If we can't, I'll just bin it and then put it back, because some of the recipes still call for some of this stuff. I will see what we can do with all of this, and then when I come back, this will be gone, and we can get to work on a redesign of graphene using an interstellar logic hub, because we need the fire ice. Alright, I'll be back. So I thought of a way that I can drain it. I'm sitting here, and I'm like, how am I going to drain all of this graphene? Well, graphene is used in carbon nanotubes. And carbon nanotubes, also, sulfuric acid is used in titanium alloy. Smart. So, what we're going to do is we're going to make a new tileable design for big platforms. Now, big platforms are not something that takes up a lot of space. Like, they're going to take up this much space. Literally the exact same, essentially, as this. Except for the fact that I'm going to do the ratios a little bit better. So these guys were 1 every 4. These guys are 1 every 6. So 6 machines makes 1 per second. I'm going to try to shoot for like 4 per second as a frame material thing. So 4 per second is going to end up being 4 sets of 6. So slightly longer than this one is. But what I can do is I can copy this and then find whereabouts. It won't fit there because of the copper mine. Okay. In that case, it doesn't matter. Let's go put it up here. Why not? Yeah, let's put it right there. Why not? Who cares? Who cares? We'll put it right up here. Literally right here. Because why not? But the thing that I am going to do is copy this and copy 6 of them. Because it's, like I said, it's going to be the exact same. It's just going to be twice as long. So, plop it there. Plop it there, except for foundation being needed. Make sure the belts are flowing the correct direction, because yes, that is important. And then one of these belts, the carbon nanotube belt, is actually going to end up needing to be a Mark III. So I'm just going to make that one the farthest inside belt. Look how easy that was. Do you see how easy that was? That was so easy. I don't think you guys saw how easy that was. That was so easy to just copy and paste. And now, all I have to do is swap the recipe to the big platform, copy, paste, 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 spam. Spam the paste button, and then get close enough so that it actually processes that I spammed the paste button. Now, frame materials. Carbon nanotubes. Drop it to 1,000. Go ahead and hit demand. Min load of drones 100. Titanium alloy. Same thing. Drop it down to 1,000. Hit demand. And the last piece is... yeah, the silica. Demand. And we'll top off drones. Because we have drones being made very, very quickly now. And I'm very happy about it. So, carbon nanotubes come out the first one. Ooh, but not yet, but not yet. Yeah, but not yet, but not yet. I actually think I want to proliferate this. Because these are very high-end structures. They're very endgame-based equipment. Very expensive, very crucial in the later game. So I think I actually want to have some proliferation done here. The proliferation piece is very, very simple. You literally just take the proliferator, make sure that it actually... no, stop it. Make sure that it actually goes where you want it to, specifically there. And then I am going to need a secondary terminal here, so that the big platforms actually have somewhere to go. I can also paste spam the rest of the way. But then here what I can do is I can put the big platforms, but I can also grab myself the proliferation juice. right? And I don't need to proliferate the big platforms as soon as they're here. Like, I don't need to proliferate those until they get to where they're going. Then I can get rid of that. I am gonna need a power pole. And then we can do the same thing that we've been doing, where we just take the proliferation juice out, and then we run it way along the sides, like this. And then it looks like I put it here. Nope, I put it here. But I put it there down a peg, then brought it up and over. Bring it down a peg. And then we literally just copy the exact same thing on the other side. And now we'll have proliferation juice on the things that matter. Well, of course, after I actually power it all. Which I can do just like that. I'm gonna wait for the juice to get over to this side. The juice is already on this side, so I can go on ahead and take the carbon nanotubes out. Take out the titanium alloy, take out the silica. And it looks like the proliferation juice is almost done here. Yeah. Now it's done. Titanium alloy and silica. And then what number blueprint are we on? We've made a lot of blueprints, 24, so we are on 25. Paste. Blueprint number, no. Blueprint number 25. Big platforms MK1. Big platforms. Save the blueprint. And now that we have big platforms automated, first of all, we're going to have a couple of things that are actually going to be able to be done in our hub. Mainly speaking, is going to be these, the satellite power distribution systems, which are fantastic. I love them. But now we'll also be able to do some of the more advanced items, such as... I think we have at least one of them unlocked at this point. No, we've done everything else. Never mind. Ah, no, here. Miniature particle collider. And also the spotlight mining technology is another one. Here it is. This one uses big platforms. Basically everything in the end game uses big platforms. Like this thing uses big platforms. These guys both don't. But they're intermediate products. The vertical launching silo, wouldn't you know it? Big platforms. The artificial star, wouldn't you know it? Big platforms. So now that's going to use up our graphene supply that we currently have. Also, this is just pathetic at this point. I'm gonna redirect all of this to proliferation juice. We're cutting off that power plant. That power plant is done for now. Goodbye, power plant. You were loved. You will be missed. That thing started us out in the beginning of the game. It's almost sad to see it go. Iron's starting to run out too. Is the copper done? The copper is done. Our starting copper patch and our starting iron patch are both gone. It's honestly bittersweet getting rid of those two. Well, I was gonna do that, but it looks like it didn't want to. I was gonna do that just to get the last of the copper out of the system, but because of the fact that it looked like it really did not want to let me do that, I'll just do it myself, and that's fine. Wow, that honestly is, like, bittersweet to have gotten rid of that. Huh. Alright, last thing up on the list, because of the fact that we're getting very, very close to our time limit for these episodes, is actually going to be waiting for these guys to drain. And then once they're drained, I'll redesign the graphene system. It won't take that long, and I will show you guys how that all works momentarily. Alright, we are drained, which means Interstellar Logic Hub, down you go. Grab ourselves 50 of the wonderful little drones and 10 of the large logic vessels. Bump you up to 100%, make sure orbital collector is checked off. And then fire ice, we're gonna want a, yeah, we'll keep it local supply. We're gonna want 5,000. We'll make it remote demand shortly. We don't want to do that just yet. And then graphene and hydrogen, we're going to do local supply remote storage. Just like this. And then, let's take a look at this recipe. It's 1 every second because it's 2 every 2 seconds to get 2. So it's 1 per machine per second. 6 machines, 6 per second. So we don't really need a lot of machines. However, we have all this space. So I feel like I may as well at least try to get a design in place that will do 30 per second. Or now that I'm looking at it, maybe not. Maybe 24 per second. Yeah. So we are going to use the Mark III belts for this. And we can actually move these back 1. I just realized. 6. Because we've got fire ice. And then this will follow the same kind of procedure that the oil did, where it goes around the back and then it splits down the sides. And then here, we'll be able to use Mark II belts, going the whole way down. Grab the alternate graphene recipe. And then I'll upgrade the belt later, but for right now we'll do this. And we'll keep it to graphene and hydrogen, just like that. And then we obviously as well need an input belt. We'll put it there. Just like that. Nice and simple. Not difficult at all. Power following suit. Literally the exact same as what we did. Make sure that we power that for the blueprint's sake. And then we grab this and line it up correctly. Paste. Get rid of the blue belt, the Mark III, because it needs to be going the other direction. And then over here, we'll have a priority split to the right side. And I'm out of fuel. Because why wouldn't I be out of fuel? And there's a charger right there, but I don't have fuel. I have 2 pieces of coal. Not nearly enough to get my drones to actually build something properly. Alright, fine. Give me... yeah, that'll work. Just charge me. Charge me. I hate my drones. I swear I do. I hate my drones. There. Alright, give me a hot second. I gotta design something. So the issue that I thought was about to happen didn't actually happen, so that pause was completely and entirely unnecessary. My bad. But yeah, we're almost done at this point. Oh, one of these is gonna have to raise. Oh, that's right. I always forget. I always forget about the fact that when I have two belts like this, one of them ends up needing to be raised. I think I'm gonna make it this one that raises. And we'll make it raise... We'll just keep it simple and have the last one that's on the lower portion right in front of the other inserter. So like this. And then from here, it'll raise to be there. And then meet. And then the entire reason why we have that splitter to join everything together is so that it can make that really tight turn and just go straight in. Which I think is rather clever, don't you? And now we can go on ahead, hit remote demand. Our logic vessels will start getting shot off into space. And we will have new graphene. And as you can see here, yeah, we already bled through my entire graphene supply, so here's hoping that the system actually works properly and everything gets done. That's the hope. We shall see. Looks like they all just stopped at the orbiters and they're on their way back now. Looks like that's one of the hydrogen ones going for the deuterium setup. And we'll see them coming back and landing. This episode is very long, so thank you to anybody who has stuck around thus far. Just trying to get out of map view, and I realized I'm not in map view. But that is working. We have graphene, and we have hydrogen. Perfection. The fire ice is even backing up. Literally could not have been more perfect. Well, other than the fact that I have forgotten to upgrade the belt. That's something that could make it more perfect. Is if I upgraded that belt. I don't think this one needs to be upgraded. Yeah, because it's half, and half of 24 is 12. So this is a 24 belt of graphene, and the other one is a 12 belt of hydrogen. So, we copy this, paste this, it was 25, so 26. Graphene, MK2. I accidentally hit my power button. Not my power button. I accidentally hit my stop recording button while I was recording me saving the blueprint. I saved the blueprint and I tried to hit backspace and it's right next to my recording key, which is the insert button, and I slipped and hit the insert button because I wasn't looking at my keyboard. Anyway, that is all I have for you wonderful people, so thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, but without further ado, adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, das vidania, wiedersehen, ciao, and goodbye. Please have yourselves all a fantastic rest of your day. Get some sleep if you need to. Don't forget to stay hydrated. This video is in the bag, and I will see you guys in the next one. So thank you for watching. Later, y'all.